This morning we start a new series called Eating for a Healthier You, and today we're starting with foods that will boost your memory. We all get more forgetful as we age, but you can help hold it off with diet and exercise. Nutritionist Joy Bauer is a Today contributor. Joy, good morning. Nice to see you. Before we talk about the foods, let's talk about healthy behaviors that can affect your memory. Things like exercise and getting sleep and things like that.
Right. You want to keep a check on your cholesterol and blood pressure. You want to challenge your brain and you want to relax your brain. And I think the most valuable takeaway is that aside from challenging your brain and relaxing your brain, a healthy heart makes for a healthy brain. And that's because all the cells within our body, including our brain cells, thrive on a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients, and those nutrients make their way throughout our body within our blood cells. So if you eat a heart-smart diet and you exercise, you have smooth sailing through unobstructed blood vessels.
All right, let's talk about what we know in terms of food and brain power and memory. And here we start with good news for people who like certain kinds of fish.
That's right. Fish is a superstar, and we're specifically talking about fish that are low in contaminants and high in omega-3 fats. Things like wild salmon, Atlantic mackerel, Pacific oysters, lake trout. These things are brimming with omega-3 fats, and not just any old omega-3 fats, the most potent form, EPA and DHA, which our body sops up and utilizes.
But do we have to eat like 20 servings of fish a week
No.
to make a significant difference?
No. You know something? Studies have shown that just by eating one serving of fish each week, it's better than nothing. But I'm going to say at least 3 servings of fish each week, and the serving size should look like at least the size of the palm of your hand.
And raw or cooked? Is it better if it's raw, like sushi and raw oysters?
You know, the omega-3s are in the raw and the cooked, but just for the safety issue, you go for the cooked.
Okay.
And again, 3 times a week, at least the size of the palm of your hand.
And real quickly, I know you're always a fan of the real thing over the supplements, but if you're not getting, if you don't like fish, supplements okay?
Fish oil supplements are a great alternative. You want to stick with a reputable brand, and Matt, people always have to speak with their physician first because they're not for everyone.
All right, let's talk about fruit now, and in particular when it comes to brain power and memory, what's the connection between berries and memory?
Berries, all berries, raspberries, blueberries, cranberries, blackberries, are loaded with 2 natural compounds, anthocyanins and flavonols, which protect you against brain cell degeneration. And what's particularly interesting nowadays are blueberries. We have encouraging research that are showing that blueberries, just by eating about a cup a day, can really increase your memory capacity.
Well, actually, what I was reading is that there are studies that say it can actually reverse memory loss. That's a whole different ballgame.
That's exactly right. So we've always known that blueberries are good for you. Now, in fact, they can be medicinal.
All right, let's talk about leafy greens. You've got a display over here. What's the connection between leafy greens and memory?
Leafy greens are loaded with folate, which is also known as folic acid, and we're not quite clear what the connection is, but we do see this cause-effect relationship. People who eat a lot of leafy greens have slower declines in their memory, and it may be because folic acid protects blood vessels, or it helps the neurons, those brain cells, communicate more efficiently. So at least 1 cup each day.
And raw or cooked there as
Doesn't
well.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It stays in even after you steam it or boil it or cook it.
It absolutely. You just don't want to boil it in a whole lot of water for prolonged periods of time.
All right. Now we had a segment on earlier this morning about caffeine, the health benefits and the health risks. When it comes to memory, though, there is some scientific evidence that can help your memory.
That's exactly right. About 2 years ago, Austrian researchers took a group of people and they hooked them up to an MRI machine. They fed them the equivalent of about 2 cups of coffee, and what it showed is that the areas in the brain that are responsible for memory increased. And earlier this year, we looked at a large-scale study, and it reported that women in particular, I'm sorry, this didn't translate for men, were able to slow the memory decline just by drinking 2 to 3 cups of coffee each and every day.
Fish, leafy vegetables, berries, and coffee. Good
That's
things
right.
to know. Good things
Easy.
to remember, no pun intended.
That's right.
Joy, thanks so much. We appreciate it.